Manga-Waido.
My name is Tsubasa Murakami, 30 years old. I've been busy with work for the past few years, but I've finally reached a point where I can relax a little while. I decided to treat myself to sushi for dinner. It's not a place that I can come to every day, but it's nice to treat myself once in a while. Plus, the chef of the restaurant is a friendly guy, and he's been good to me for a long time.
It's been a while. Are you alone today?
No, someone else will be coming later. They still have some work to do.
They're busy too, huh? But I'm glad you came.
No. It's my pleasure. How are things going?
Well, it's been slow and steady. We've had a few customers who have been a little bit difficult to deal with.
The restaurant business is tough, isn't it?
I wish all customers were like you, Tsubasa.
Oh, please. I was enjoying my conversation with the chef for the first time in a while. Then I heard some noisy voices of men and women outside the restaurant.
Speak of the devil.
Huh?
Yoo-hoo, Chef! I'm here for you again.
Ah, welcome.
Ugh, this place is as deserted as ever.
The customers who came in were talking loudly, which wasn't appropriate for this restaurant. I know it's rude to stare at other customers, but I was curious, so I turned around and looked.
What? Wait a minute, Tsubasa?
Long time no see, Meiko.
What? You know each other?
Well, I guess we're acquaintances. Or ex-boyfriend. Well, it's kind of a dark history.
Hearing her voice brought back memories of the past. It's a dark history for me, too. I met Meiko when I was in my freshman year of college. We happened to be in the same economics department and in the same field. But Meiko at that time was very different from what she is now. She was a very serious person. Her appearance was also rather plain. I wasn't the most cheerful guy, but we got along well. And we began to talk naturally. We had dinner a few times after that, and ended up going out. When we first started dating, we were both in love. But the relationship slowly broke down. After 6 months of going out, Meiko started acting strange. She started wearing brand name clothes that she had never been interested in before, and she started talking in a bossy manner. She may have been feeling impatient because the girls around her were getting more and more fashionable. Despite that, the changes were too extreme. Then one day, on the way home from a date, we happened to pass by my hometown.
I went to visit your parents' house, Tsubasa.
I don't mind, but
They run a factory, right?
yeah, it's small though.
Oh well, take me.
I honestly didn't want to, because Meiko's family was actually rich. And this is the Meiko who's been getting flashy lately. I wonder what she'll think when she sees my parents' house. This is my parents' house, and the factory's on the side.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so shabby. I didn't expect it to be this bad.
The reaction was as expected. But it was impossible not to get angry when your parents' house was being mocked. That's a bit out of line, don't you think?
No way. If you grew up in such a shabby house, you should have told me.
What do you mean?
How can I date a guy who grew up in such a poor family? I feel like I've been cheated. Don't talk to me at school anymore, okay? I don't want people to think I know a poor guy like you.
That, Meiko left me. To be honest, I wasn't happy with Meiko recently, so I didn't feel like chasing after her. And I remember I was relieved. I'd cut all ties with her since then, but I never thought I'd see her again like this.
You still look as grim as ever. How can you come to a restaurant like this in the first place? You're trying way too hard.
It's not that I'm trying.
No. There's no way you have that kind of money. I heard you took over that shabby factory after graduation.
Yes, that's right.
It's too bad they made you take over that factory.
This reaction is to be expected as well.
Is he the poor ex-boyfriend you were talking about?
Yeah. Hey, don't ever tell people we used to date, okay? I'm a model and an actress now.
A model? I see.
Well, an influencer. I have 10,000 followers. I'll lose a lot of fans if they find out that someone like you is my ex.
Men like me suits Meiko.
Oh, this is my current boyfriend. He's an online entrepreneur, and he's very different from you, and successful.
I see.
Well, you don't have any money anyway, so why don't you eat cucumber rolls like a poor person? Well then, we regulars will be in the private room. You're better off at the counter all by yourself.
The two of them went into the private room after saying that. I didn't have the heart to say anything back, so I could only sigh in frustration, along with the chef. A little while later, vulgar laughter and the sound of a camera shutter could be heard from the private room, plus a large amount of food and alcohol being brought into the private room. There was no way the two of them could finish all of that.
She's always like that. She calls herself an actress and a model, but she doesn't seem like it.
I don't think someone like that could be an actress.
By the way, you used to want to be an actor too, right?
Please, let's not talk about that. I wanted to be an actor, but that was a long time ago. I was always shy as a kid who was never good at talking. My parents, who were concerned, decided to enroll me in an acting school run by an entertainment agency. I was reluctant at first, but to my surprise, I was fascinated with acting and ended up staying there from elementary to high school. But when I was in senior high school, my father got sick. Due to financial problems, I gave up acting and entered the economics department of a university to take over the family business. Unfortunately, my father's illness and factory business situation worsened. And when I was 25 years old, he passed away, and I took over the company.
Speaking of which, your friend is late, isn't she?
I'm afraid it's gonna be a little while.
I'll prepare the usual first then.
Thank you. After that, the same obscene voices continued to pour out from Meiko and her boyfriend's private room. When I went to the restroom, I walked past the private room and heard this conversation inside.
Oh, come on! That's enough!
Come on, don't talk to me like you're poor. He needs to see what it's like to be rich.
It looks like she couldn't stop showing off now that she met me here. And an hour later, they came out of the private room. The guy looked a little pale, with Meiko looking satisfied.
Chef, give me the bill.
Coming up!
Then the two of them headed towards the chef. The bill I heard was at a price that even surprised me.
It'll be 112,000 yen. What? 112,000? I don't think there's any mistake.
What? You can afford it, can't you? Come on, go ahead and pay with that card.
All right. The guy pulled out a platinum card. He sure was making money.
Want me to pay your bill too with this platinum card? Oh, poor guys like you don't even know what a platinum card is, do you? I don't blame you.
This card doesn't seem to work.
What? What do you mean?
No, it can't be. I'm sure there's still enough money left in my credit limit.
Hey, hurry up and do something about it.
You didn't use my credit card again, did you?
What? Are you trying to say that it's my fault?
And how did you buy that bag? You don't even have that kind of money.
I did use it, but this is your fault for not earning enough money.
You... Excuse me. The bill.
It's a hell of a scene. I felt sorry for the chef more than anything. Anyway, let's have them leave quickly. I was about to get up when...
Sorry to keep you waiting. The shoot took so long. What? Oh, Akina-chan, the model.
Seriously? She's real!
Oh, hi. I've been a fan for a long time. I'm actually a model myself. If you'd like, you could introduce me to your agency.
I'm a huge fan. I even bought your photo book.
Thank you. This restaurant is a place for celebrities like Akina-chan, isn't it? It's a nuisance to other customers when poor guys like you force themselves in. Tsubasa, do you know this person?
Well,
What? Why did Akina-chan say his name? Well...
I've had enough of this. I was at the end of my patience, too. Because Akina is my girlfriend.
Huh? Girlfriend? No, wait. Why would Akina-chan date such a poor guy?
The bill?
Tsubasa, what's going on?
I explained everything to Akina.
Well, if they're your acquaintance, why don't you pay for them?
Yeah, you're right. I pull out the card I always use from my wallet. Chef, here you go.
Aye.
There's no way you can afford 110,000. And what is that card? I've never seen it before.
Wait! Mako! That's a black card!
A black card? What is that?
It's above the platinum card! Only the super rich can get one!
What? Why do you have a card like that?
Because Tsubasa is an entrepreneur!
Doesn't he just own a small factory? That was a long time ago. How many subsidiaries do you have now, Tsubasa?
3. Next year will be 4. Most of them are overseas, though. Akina's right. It was a long time ago, when I was running a small factory in a small town. After my father passed away, I started to run a full-fledged business, and narrowed down my target to Southeast Asia. Even though it was a small factory, its technology was world-class. I brought it to developing countries, and the business became a huge success.
No. How can that son of a poor family... Oh, are you the ex-girlfriend who's only interested in money? What? You're after the money too, aren't you? I've known Tsubasa since junior high school, though. What?
That's right. Me and Akina have known each other since that training school. When I was in 3rd grade, Akina came in as a 1st grader. And we had a family relationship because our houses were in the same neighborhood. I gave up halfway, but Akina desperately pursued her dreams, and finally debuted at the age of 23. She's mainly a model, but she's been started appearing in dramas and on stage. When my father passed away, Akina went out of her way to come to my house. That's when I told her about my dream to develop my father's factory. People around me said it was impossible, and Akina was the only one who kept supporting me. When the business got on track, I confessed my feelings to Akina. That's how we started dating.
Here, Tsubasa. Your payment is complete. Thank you. But are you sure you're okay with it?
It's fine. Well, it's like a consolation money.
By the way, if you're going to be a model, you should seriously study up on your makeup. Your speech is unrefined as well. How can you make fun of Tsubasa like that? There's no one else who works this hard.
You left most of your food. If you can't pay us on top of that, we'd appreciate it if you didn't come to our restaurant anymore.
That's right. You've already figured out which one of us is not suited for this restaurant, haven't you?
Hey! Wait! I want my money back!
And so, Calm finally returned to the restaurant, and we started eating.
Chef, cucumber roll, please.
Aye!
You really like that, don't you?
Because it's delicious.
A few months later, I happened to see Meiko's name on the internet news. It seems what she said about being an influencer was true. But apparently, she was buying followers with money, which caused a huge backlash. According to information on the internet, Meiko's family business went bankrupt a few years ago. The guy who claimed to be an online entrepreneur was scamming people online as well. I heard through the wind that he's in trouble because of a class action lawsuit. Not like I really care about them. I've got other things to do right now in addition to my work. That is, to prepare for the wedding with Akina. Akina's ideal wedding is something simple and warm. I'm now enjoying my happiness of marrying such a wonderful woman.
My name is Yui Hayase, 30 years old, single. I was actually supposed to get married when I was 28, but it broke when I found out my fiancé was cheating on me. I was hurt and had a lot of trouble with alimony, cancellation fees, and other financial matters. My friends felt sorry for me. My relatives treated me like a swelled-up tumor, and it was just awful. I have had enough of men. I gave up on marriage and decided to stay single for the rest of my life. I finally settled down and started working from home as an illustrator. My parents are busy with work and are hardly ever home, so I take care of the housework. I'm also responsible for the land behind the house. This is my grandfather's land. When my marriage was finalized,
I'm giving this place to you, Yui. Build a house.
my grandfather told me, but with the marriage gone,
And I'm not gonna make a gift.
my grandfather only asked me to manage the property. I think he was just trying to be considerate because the property tax was so high. I was interested in vegetable gardening, so I turned one corner of the land into a field and grew vegetables and flowers. I was honestly depressed after the loss of my marriage, so it was nice to have something to do taking care of the garden. Being physically active was a good distraction, and when I saw the plants and vegetation growing and developing, I was able to be positive and think, I have to do my best too. When I sent the vegetables to my grandfather, he was very happy too. It was also nice to have more opportunities to talk to neighbors because of the land. Interaction with neighbors. It was a consultation about parking. Turning all the land into a field, you'll spend the whole day just taking care of it. So we only turned a part of it into a field and left the rest empty for parking our cars. At first, it was just my car, which I bought with the alimony. But then a neighbor asked me to let him park there temporarily.
I have a lot of relatives coming for a memorial service. Can I use it for 2 days?
My son is coming back on his motorcycle. I want to park it for a week. The neighbors are sensible people, and we had plenty of land, so I always gladly agreed. Some of the neighbors gave us sweets, rice, and prepared foods in return, so it was a win-win situation. I was getting to know my neighbors a lot better too, and thought, this life is not so bad. The shock of my marriage being ruined gradually faded away, thanks to this. But one day, there was trouble. What's with those cars? There were several strange cars and motorcycles parked there. I didn't get a request from my neighbors to park there today. I wonder who they belong to. As I looked out the window, the owners came back. Oh no, they're delinquents. The young men who came in droves, all with flashy hair and clothes that looked like typical delinquents. It was scary, but the beginning is key. If I don't warn them here, I'm sure they'll come back. I typed 110 into my phone, ready to call the police at any time, slipped it in my pocket, and went outside. Hey, guys, this is private property. You can't park here without permission.
Huh? I thought you were allowed to park here. I saw an old man parking here.
Our neighbors have my permission. I'm the one in charge here. I don't remember giving you guys permission to park here.
Shut up, you old hag! What's wrong with parking here when it's empty?
You are parking illegally. Please leave now and don't park there again. If you do it again, I'll call the police.
You ugly hag! Shut your mouth! I parked here because someone I know said I could. Don't complain.
Someone you know?
He's the boss of Team Doraemon.
Who? I have no idea what that name is, and I don't remember giving you permission to park here. Anyway, I'm the administrator here. Now get your bikes out of here, or I'll call the police. When I showed them my phone, which displayed 110, the delinquents...
Persistent old lady.
The delinquents grumbled, got on their bikes, and rode away. It was scary, but I showed them. If I say this much, they sure won't be coming back. The next morning, I was relieved to see that there were no motorcycles parked there, but I was naive. What? Again? When I looked outside at night, I saw cars and motorcycles parked again, and delinquents were sitting around eating cup noodles. I called the police immediately. A few minutes later, a police car approached with sirens. I hope they get caught and get scolded by the cops. As I was thinking that, the delinquents ran away. As soon as they noticed the sirens, they fled at lightning speed. When I came out, I found the wreckage of cup noodles and sweets left on the ground. I told the police what happened.
We will enforce patrols.
I did not receive a hopeful response. After some research, apparently illegal parking is hardly a crime of trespassing, and since it's not street parking, I can't get it towed. What do you mean police shouldn't interfere in civil matters? When I talked to my parents, we're not around a lot, so, oh yeah, you should talk to your grandfather, they said. My grandfather has always been strong against these types of problems. This is my grandfather's land to begin with. I need to let him know what's going on. When I called him,
That's no good. I'll send the young one over there tomorrow.
he said. The next day, a strong, burly young man arrived.
My name is Takeda Goki. I'm here on an errand for the old man.
I'm sorry to bother you.
No, it's no problem at all, if it's a favor for the young lady.
I'm already 30 years old. More importantly, they're here again. Those bikes? That's right. The bikes were lined up in rows again today. Takeda-san and I decided to wait for the delinquents to show up. To relieve the tension, I baked pancake cakes as a snack, to which Takeda-san ate with great relish.
May I have another one?
He asked me. The gap between his strong face and his love for sweets was a nice charm. Meanwhile, it was getting noisy outside. The delinquents are back. That's enough, you guys! Didn't I tell you never to park without permission again?
What? Oh, it's you again. Renya, forget this old lady. Let's go. You're right. We're leaving now, so don't get so mad. You'll get more wrinkles like that.
Renya's terrible! That's hilarious!
Talking all that talk. You guys are ready for this, right?
Huh? What are you talking about? If you keep talking like that, I'm gonna have to seriously... What?
The delinquent called Reina froze, looking over to his gaze. Whoa, it was the scary face of Takeda-san.
So, you're the delinquents the young lady was talking about.
Young lady? What is this? Is this woman the daughter of a Yakuza?
Who do you think you are giving trouble to our young lady?
Ah!
This land belongs to my boss. Who gave you guys permission to park here? Come on, spit it out!
The delinquents were trembling under Takeda-san's presence. One of them even fell flat on his behind. None of the delinquents would answer, so I heard the boss of a team called Doraemon told them that they could park there. When I mentioned that, the delinquents turned blue.
No! That was a lie! Yes, it's a lie! We have nothing to do with the Doraemon!
I thought so. There's no way little kids like you can get on a team like that.
Takeda-san, you know that team with that ridiculous name?
Yes. I used to get into fights with the previous president.
He's the real Yakuza!
Now, you guys ready to pay for this? I hope you're ready.
Whoa! I'm sorry! We'll never park here again, so please forgive us!
Why did you park here every day in the first place? Don't you have a parking lot? Wait, are these stolen?
Young lady, should I call the cops?
No! These are our cars! We got fired from the company and couldn't stay at the company housing, so we didn't have a place to park. We just happened to find this place and parked here on a whim. I'm really sorry.
Oh, what a stupid reason. Why don't you just sell your bike if you don't have the money to rent a parking space? Why would they run to unauthorized parking?
This is my boss's precious land. If you ever enter without permission again, I'll invite you to my boss's main residence. Remember that.
Main residence? Don't tell me that's the boss's office!
If you want, I'll let you park at the main residence for the rest of your life. I'll even make it so you'll never be able to ride a car or a motorcycle again.
Takeda-san rolls up his sleeves, and there was a magnificent tattoo. The delinquents turned blue, straddled their bikes, and disappeared in the blink of an eye. After such a frightening experience, they surely won't be back ever again. Go look for a new job and a straight path. It will be better for your future. Takeda-san, thank you very much.
No, it's what the old man asked me to do. Besides, I can't leave the young lady in trouble.
Oh, please don't call me that. But more importantly, that arm, is that a sticker? I asked, pointing at the beautiful tattoo. Takeda-san smiled shyly.
Yes. The younger guy forced me to put it on. What do you think? Does it suit me?
Yes. I thought you were a real Yakuza.
Please. Despite looking like this, I'm just a timid guy who can act a little.
Yes, Takeda-san is not a Yakuza or anything, but an employee of my grandfather's company. He was sent here because of his muscles from the construction business and his theatrical skills from school. By the way, he was born with a scary face, which is why he played the part of bad guys in the acting club. Afterwards, when I treated him to a dinner as a thank you.
Delicious! Amazing!
Takeda-san ate in relish. I've been avoiding men since I broke up with my fiancé. But seeing someone so pure made me think it was okay to fall in love again. Well, to tell you from the ending, after this, Takeda-san came to see me often, saying, "I'm here to look out if the delinquents come again." And we gradually became friends. And after a year, we started dating. And 2 more years later, we would get married. But that's another story. The delinquents apparently learned their lesson and never parked without permission again. A month later, I saw one of the delinquents working at a home improvement store. So maybe they've changed and are trying to lead a straight life. You're young. You can still start over. Don't ever do anything bad again and do your best. I've been through a lot too, but I won't be discouraged. I'll stay positive. I'll do my best like those vegetables that grow. Thank you so much, Grandfather, for entrusting me with the management of this land. I will do my best for the rest of my life while protecting this place.
I'm Hayate Machida. I have an important person in my life. Her name is Mio. Mio and I have known each other since childhood. We lived across the street from each other and went to the same elementary, middle, and high schools. I've had a crush on her for as long as I can remember, but I've never been able to tell her how I feel. We became closer when I was a senior in high school, preparing for the college entrance exam. Unfortunately, my father died in an accident, and Mio took over for my mother, who was so exhausted that she couldn't do anything. And she supported us by cooking meals and going shopping.
It's okay if you leave some of the food. Please, eat it if you feel like it.
Thanks to Mio's devoted care, my mother's smile returned to her face after a while. And she brought me good luck, I suppose. My father died suddenly, so I gave up college and continued working part-time. And a year later, the movie theater where I was working at the time gave me a full-time job. Now that things had settled down, I couldn't let Mio help us forever. Mio, you don't have to come here so often anymore.
Why?
We're just childhood friends, right? I feel bad.
So, what if we're not just childhood friends? Let's get married. I'll support you the rest of my life.
She suddenly proposed to me. I was so surprised that my jaw almost dropped off. Are you okay with a guy like me?
You may not realize it, but you've helped me so many times.
Mio! That's how we ended up going out. A year later, when I told my mother we were getting married, she was more than happy, even more than I was. After Mio graduated from college, we officially got married. We were really lucky up until that point. But the 3rd year after becoming a full-time employee, I was transferred to a different location, where I met that guy. On my first day of work at the new location, the employees who came to greet me at the store entrance had very listless expressions on their faces, which made me feel uneasy. And sure enough, I'll be starting here from today. I'm Machida. I greeted them, but in a small voice, "Hi," was all I got. "The manager is in the back, so please, go say hello." Understood. I just had a bad feeling about this. When I entered the room I was told to, inside was a man in his late 30s, reading a comic book while laughing hysterically. This guy is the manager? I was shocked, but called out to him. "Excuse me, I'll be starting here from today." "Huh? Shut up! Who?" I'm Machida. I'll be starting here today." "Ah, you were wondering why I'm skipping work to read comic books, weren't you?" "No, that's not true." "You don't understand! They're making a movie out of this piece next time, so I'm reading it to study beforehand." Huh? What's with that answer? Another useless one. That's why I'm so busy. I can't be doing this anymore." He didn't even tell me his name, so I looked at his nameplate, and it read, Manager Kitamura. Who's gonna be motivated with a guy like him as their boss? By the way, when I looked at the title of the comic book Kitamura was reading on the internet, there was no mention of it being made into a movie. To my anxious despair, I'm Kanazawa. I'm probably the same age as you. Nice to meet you. In the office, a man named Issei Kanazawa sitting next to me spoke to me. I was so anxious that I immediately became friends with Kanazawa. During break, I asked Kanazawa what kind of man Kitamura was. Kanazawa had been excitedly talking about his favorite movies until then, but suddenly, he lost his enthusiasm. You should avoid eye contact with that guy as much as possible. After that, he fell silent. Then one day, an incident happened. It was when I was concentrating on my work at my desk. I heard Kitamura's loud voice and the sound of him slamming his desk. What? You don't need me to do this, do you? Can't you even understand that? I heard Kitamura's loud voice and the sound of him slamming his desk. What's going on? I looked over to see an employee being yelled at. Can't you write something up that won't draw attention from the top? Use your head! I'm sorry. Don't you think so, Machida? What? About what? How was I supposed to know what they were talking about? You're really useless too! Well, you're just a high school graduate after all. That's right, I'm leaving this job to you. This is your chance. Everything's a learning experience. Here! After saying that, Kitamura put a stack of papers on my desk. Bring it to me when you're done writing! And left. I looked at the stack of papers and saw that it was a report to headquarters. The male employee who had been yelled at came over to me and said, I'm sorry, these are documents that are supposed to be filled out by the manager, but please, do it for me. Look, we've been having some problems lately, like the food expiring and the show not starting on time. What? But I just started working here. I've got some old reports on the shelf, so just finish them up like that. I'm sorry, but I'm at my limit. And so, the employee left. I had no choice but to finish it by looking at past cases, but I had other work to do, and ended up working overtime. As I was getting ready to go home disheartened, wanna go for a drink? Kanazawa, who was also working overtime, invited me out for a drink, a rare occasion. I feel sorry for that senior today. Does that kind of thing happen often? Yeah, I told you not to make eye contact with him. Every time you make eye contact, he pushes the work on you. Oh, that's what you meant. He's a real jerk. Not only does he yell at you, but he also hits things, and the company's equipment is always damaged. He never works the late shift and leaves on time. I've never seen him work in the first place. Why don't you report this to the top? I heard he's the president's lover's son. Huh? That guy's mother told the president that if he doesn't let him join the company, she would tell the affair to the weekly newspapers and destroy the company. So the president got him to join the company through his connections. Seriously? That's why he can do whatever he wants. He must have had connections that allowed him to become the manager. That's why it's useless for us to appeal to the higher-ups. That makes sense. After that, Kanazawa told me things about the inside of this company, and we talked about each other's personal situations as we deepened our friendship. After that, the work environment continued to deteriorate. That employee who often got Kitamura's work pushed on him suddenly stopped coming to work, and I turned into a target instead. Machida, you're just a high school graduate, so learn it like this! That became a common phrase, and I was forced to do a variety of jobs. For example, there are early and late shifts for the morning and late viewings, and the ratio of these has increased all at once. Even on the opening day of a very popular movie, when the place was flooded with people, Kitamura never came, and I always handled it. He even threw all the complaints to me. And the list went on and on. Kanazawa and the other employees followed up, but they were so reckless that they overloaded my capacity, and every time I made a little mistake, high school graduates like you are so useless! He would verbally abuse me like that. I still had a reason to endure. In fact, last month, I found out that Mio was pregnant. When I reported this to Kanazawa, seriously? Congratulations! That's amazing! You're a father! He was as happy as I was. Not only that, he took over the late shift so that I could go home as soon as possible. My colleagues, seeing me do my job no matter how much Kitamura harassed me, all came to support me as well. As the days went by, Mio's belly was growing steadily. One day, while I was working the reception desk at the venue, "Hey, it's from the hospital!" Kanazawa called me over, and I answered the phone. "Are you serious?" Mio had been admitted to the hospital and was in critical condition. Kitamura would come at me if he saw me fiddling with my phone while on duty, so I tried my best not to look at it, but I checked in a hurry to find messages from Mio saying, "My stomach hurts," and "What should I do? I'm bleeding!" Damn it, what have I done? Machida, calm down! Just get to the hospital. It's gonna be okay over here. Yeah, thanks, Kanazawa. With Kanazawa's words, I rushed to Kitamura's office. My wife has been admitted to the emergency hospital. I need to ask for permission to leave early. Huh? What's the rush? You're not the one giving birth. What's going to happen to your shift if you leave? I felt my gut churn instantly. Worst case scenario, I'll have to fill in for you. If you leave early, you're fired. You understand? This guy is more concerned about the shift than people's lives. I saw no reason to endure anymore. All right, you can fire me. What? Excuse me. I ran out of the room. When I returned to the office, Kanazawa said, I called you a cab. Go, and sent me off. The warmth of Kanazawa and my colleagues almost brought tears to my eyes. A few hours after arriving at the hospital, the child was born safely by C-section. It was a cute baby girl. Mio had fought hard on her own for a long time, and I took her hand in tears. I'm sorry I couldn't do anything. Mio smiled at me and said, now it's like I have 2 babies. After a while, when I calmed down, I remembered that I had just been fired. I've got to find a new job. While I was thinking about that, are you okay? Kanazawa, whom I had told the location of the hospital just in case, came to visit me on his way home from work. And he told me a surprising thing. I'm thinking of reporting Kitamura to the headquarters. What? But if you do that... This one time was a wake-up call. I can put up with his complaining and slacking off, but this was a matter of human life. We can't stand it either. I see. I agree. Later that day, we went to the head office and told them all about the absurd shift schedule and recordings of verbal abuse. When we told them that if they didn't take care of the problem, we would have to consult an outside expert, the initially reluctant HQ person became flustered. I understand. I will take the appropriate measures. And made a promise. The response was unexpectedly swift. From the following week, Kitamura stopped showing up at the site. Instead, someone from headquarters came and started to investigate. As a result, in addition to his power harassment and skipping work, he was found to have taken away customer perks, and they even found violations of the law, such as auctioning off premium tickets for the stage greeting. As a result, although he escaped arrest, Kitamura was demoted, given a pay cut, and transferred to the head office, probably to keep an eye on him. 3 months later, I heard that Kitamura had also gone on a rampage at the head office, causing the police to be called, and that he had been dismissed on disciplinary grounds. After that, the workplace became lively and full of energy after Kitamura left, and almost no mistakes were made, making us #1 in sales among affiliated movie theaters. And finally, our work was recognized. I am Kanazawa, and I will be your manager from today. I will work even harder than before. Yes, Kanazawa had been in charge of the site since then, and he officially got promoted as a manager. I think I could endure any hard work for him. And so, we were finally able to win a peaceful work environment. Welcome! May I see your ticket, please? If I could only devote myself to my job, working in a movie theater would be my calling. Alright, let's welcome our customers with pleasure today, too.
I'm Daichi Makimura. I'm 18 years old and I just started college. I decided to look for a part-time job as soon as I became a university student, and I had my eye on a certain restaurant. It's a slightly high-end restaurant that runs a chain in the neighboring prefectures, and I had eaten there once before in my hometown. At the time, the staff working there all had smiles on their faces, and not only was the food very good, but I was also attracted to the attentive customer service. I also wanted to own my own restaurant in the future, so I happened to see an advertisement for an opening and decided to apply immediately. Okay, apply! I had no idea that it would later turn out like that. My name is Makimura. Nice to meet you. Yes, nice to meet you. Embarrassingly, it was my first part-time job interview in my life. I was nervous and stiff, but the whole thing ended in a friendly atmosphere, and I managed to pass. My first part-time job was a lot more fun than I had imagined. I'm Kentaro Kasashima. I'm the same age as you. And I've been working here since high school, so if you have any questions, just ask me. First staff member who talked to me was Kasashima. Kasashima was cheerful and vivacious, and seemed to be looked up to by the older staff members. I could tell from just one day of work that he was a good worker. It didn't take long for us to become friends, as we were both freshmen in college and could talk about anything. All the other staff members were also kind and helped me immediately if I had any problems. Don't be so nervous. If you make a mistake, we'll follow up. And most importantly, the manager was a great guy. When he's tough, but he treats everyone equally. He's usually fun and kind in teaching us how to do our jobs. I guess that's what an ideal boss would be like. I know I don't have any work experience, but he was the kind of person that I wanted to work for. 2 guests are here! Welcome! The restaurant was always busy, both for lunch and dinner. The reviews were always positive, saying things like, the food tasted great and the staff all had a great attitude. I'll be back! I've been working here for 6 months now, and even though I'm only a part-timer, I can feel the momentum of the entire group. I was also hearing positive rumors that they were going to open more stores in the future. But one day, just when I thought things were going great, good morning! What? As I entered the staff room as usual, everyone who usually greeted me back cheerfully nodded with a gloomy look on their faces. Hey, what's going on? Makimura, this company, it's gonna be bought out. What? The company was basically taken over by a large company in the same industry that saw the company's rapid growth as a threat. No! The president and managers nurtured this company with great care. The tragedy began here. And then... What? The manager? He practically got fired. The manager, who was respected not only by me, but all the staff members, suddenly disappeared because he was replaced by someone from the company that bought us out. I heard that almost all the other stores within the chain also got a new manager. I didn't even get to say goodbye. It's the same for everyone. It was so sudden. And the man who replaced the manager.
I'm Hatakiyama, and I'm the manager from today. Don't pull my leg, everybody.
This Hatakiyama. After Hatakiyama arrived, the environment of the restaurant deteriorated quickly.
Ah! It's such a pain to think about all this. I'm fine without it.
First of all, the special menu according to this season made by the former manager who had experience as a chef got taken away.
What? You quit the seasonal menu?
Regular customers who always look forward to coming to the restaurant decreased. Moreover,
Hey! Hasn't that thing I wrote down on the order form arrived yet?
what? Nothing seems to have arrived.
Damn! They're all sold out today.
Hatakiyama never tried to learn his job, and the manager's job of placing orders had not been done at all. Of course, other employees covered for him. On some days, the majority of the menu was under preparation because the ingredients were not ready in time. Another important job of the manager to make shifts was also not done properly. I told you in advance that I wouldn't be able to come in on this day because of a test. My shift requests previously were almost always fulfilled, but now it wasn't at all. And when I told him I couldn't come in on a certain day,
What? I didn't hear that! You're being too selfish! Don't bother me!
he yells at me irrationally. But he would take his own days off or leave early without telling anyone. So everyone's dissatisfaction with Hatakiyama soon reached its peak. The restaurant lost its liveliness and flavor, so much so that it was a complete shadow of its former self. We had a few people coming in at best where lunch and dinner hours used to have people lined up before. There was a reason why the useless Hatakiyama could afford to be so stubborn. Hatakiyama was actually a relative of the president of the big company that bought us out. It was simply taking advantage of his position to do whatever he wanted. Yet everyone loved this restaurant and the staff who worked here, so all of us managed to endure. If sales continue to fall like this, the higher-ups will consider something. The manager is bound to be replaced in the not-too-distant future. That's what everyone was thinking. And then the incident happens. That's the store stock, isn't it? Could you not drink it without permission? Kasashima, who had a stronger sense of responsibility than anyone else, warned Hatakiyama, who took out a Coke from the store and tried to drink it after the store closed.
Ah! Who are you standing up to?
You're the only one here, aren't you?
You know what's gonna happen to you, right?
I don't mind.
You're fired!
Whoa! Kashishima was stripped of the apron he was wearing on the spot and kicked out of the store. The contents of the locker he was using that day were removed, and his name was erased from the clock-in system. That's right, he was actually fired. Can't believe he fired Kasashima! This can't be happening! We were all exploding with anger combined with our accumulated frustration. I can't forgive Hatakiyama for this one. To those words that spilled out of my mouth had everyone in the room agreeing with me saying, yeah, this is ridiculous! It was from that day our operation began. We all discussed and made a plan while Hatakiyama was out of the store. If you're gonna criticize someone, you should be gathering evidence. So I decided to ask the staff member who was being yelled at unreasonably to provide audio evidence.
You're so damn slow! You know that?
I'm sorry. We also recorded Hatakiyama's unacceptable behavior with a hidden camera. Like him messing with the product cake, sticking his hand directly into the container of cheese without using tongs, and pouring cheese on his own food. Plus, there was Hatakiyama's laptop with a sales report file. And when Hatakiyama was typing it up, "Manager, there's a problem on the floor!"
What? Now?
Right now! And forced him out. Now! While Hatakiyama was gone from the staff room, I took a picture of the sales report displayed on the computer. There had been rumors for some time that Hatakeyama had been tampering with sales reports, and this was proof of it. If we compare it to the sales recorded in the store's cash register, we can prove that he's been tampering with the sales report. As we steadily gathered evidence, the day finally came, the meeting before the restaurant opened. Hatakeyama is sitting on the sofa looking unmotivated, while the other staff members were standing. Well, yesterday's questionnaire from a customer said it was a lousy restaurant. The taste was bad and the staff were not very helpful. The online reviews have been bad lately. When the chief reported that, it's over. What? The guests and staff are no good, which is why we're getting more complaints. I'm gonna have to fire them all. After that, he continued to go on, saying things like, seriously, they're all awful, so no matter how hard I try, as usual. Seeing Hatakeyama like that, I couldn't help but let out a laugh. The other staff members seemed to be struggling to hold back their laughters as well. Huh? What are you all laughing at, huh? Hey, say something, Makimura! You really know nothing? That's why I'm asking you. Huh, you haven't seen the news, have you? What are you talking about? This. Unprecedented. Lousy manager. Exposed on Twitter? What the hell is this? Looks like everything the manager's done to us and this restaurant leaked out. Yes, we uploaded all the evidence we had gathered in a Twitter account we created on a computer in an internet cafe. The post, which included tons of videos, photos, and a notepad of what had been done, quickly went viral without any effort on our part. The comment section was full of posts like, wow, this guy's a scumbag. I won't go there anymore. Is he gonna get arrested for this? It was only a matter of time before it was all over the message boards and the internet news. Who did this? Who would do something like this? In the end, the day ended with endless phone calls and direct inquiries from people who had seen Twitter and the news. The company was fast to take action. The company took the situation very seriously and had no choice but to dismiss Hatakeyama, and he was gone from the store the next day. After that, the new manager was an employee who used to work at the store. Now that both the former manager and Kasashima are gone, things cannot be completely restored. But there is hope that the store can return to the peaceful atmosphere it had before. But there was a heavy price to pay. The company started to look for the culprit who made the accusation, and people from the head office were coming in to question us. They want to catch them and make them take responsibility no matter what. You don't have to quit, Makimura! No, it was my call. I'll take responsibility. I quit my favorite part-time job so that I wouldn't cause trouble for everyone. But there's more to this story. I'll have to look for a new part-time job. As I was thinking that, looking at job sites, my phone rang. It was from Kasashima, who was fired because of Hatakeyama. I saw the news! It's amazing! Well, I had to quit my job, though. What? You quit even though that guy left? Wait, did you? Yeah, I'm the one who suggested we do it, and I'm the one who created the Twitter account. I don't want to get everyone in trouble since they're looking for the culprit. Well, then come work where I work. Huh? Actually, my ex-manager invited me to come work at his new place. I've been meaning to tell you. What? To my surprise, the former manager had started a new restaurant after he was fired from the company. The ex-manager was very happy to welcome me to his small, bustling restaurant. I was able to start my part-time life happily again. By the way, Hatakeyama was exiled from the company and his family, and is now under criminal investigation for embezzlement. How does it feel to be in the hands of the police as a 30-something man with a wife and kids? I don't feel sorry for him at all. He got what he deserved.
Hey, Hiroki! Help me get the shipments ready! I'm coming! I'm Hiroki Tashiro. Our family has been farmers for generations. We grow strawberries. Under strict temperature control, we provide delicious strawberries even in the summer. Hello, Tashiro-san. Yoshioka-san! Thank you very much for your help. It's looking good this time. Yoshioka-san is a salesperson for Wide Confectionery, which has a direct wholesale contract with us. Wide Confectionery is a well-known confectionery chain, and they've been buying from us consistently at a fixed price. This is a new dessert we are about to launch. Please enjoy it if you like.
Well. Thank you.
You always deliver us strawberries that are so sweet, which really helps us out. This product was only possible because of your strawberries.
That's too much praise. Well, our strawberries are fantastic after all.
Yoshioka-san has been good to us since I was little. He's a compassionate man who comes to our farm regularly and goes out of his way to greet us. By the way, Hiroki, I heard you're getting married. Congratulations! Yes, I am! Thank you very much!
His wife is really nice, and she helps grow strawberries with us. Now I can leave everything in good hands.
What? Are you retiring?
Yes. We grow at a high altitude, but it's hard on my back. People help out from time to time during the busy season. But I'm getting old and thinking of retiring.
Is that right? I'm actually about to retire as well. Someone else will be in charge by next year.
You're that old already? We're both passing it down to the next generation, aren't we?
I know it's a ways down the road, but Hiroki, I'm counting on you. Leave it to me! A little while later, I got married. My father retired when my wife came to our home. My wife had no farming experience, but she was very dedicated and a quick learner.
That's a lot of work, and I have to get up early in the morning. But it's fun, because I'm with Hiroki, and we get to eat delicious strawberries.
I was relieved to hear that she was enjoying the work. When my wife and I started to get used to working together, it was finally time for Yoshioka-san to retire. Thank you for all your help and support over the years. No, it's the same to you. Thank you so much for all your help. I'll miss you. Me too. And about my successor.
Nice to meet you. I'm Yoko Mizo. Please, don't hesitate to tell me if you need anything.
This Yoko Mizo, my first impression of him was a polite young man, and I had a good feeling about him, but after he officially took over, he gradually began to reveal his true self.
Aren't the strawberries a little small this time?
No, it shouldn't be.
They have to be, because I'm the one saying it. I'm a better judge of taste than most salespeople. Besides, other farmers are producing better ones, aren't they?
But we do abide by the stipulations of the contract.
Anyways, we have contracts with other farmers as well. If this continues, we'll have to take some steps to equalize with the others.
I understand. I'll give it some consideration.
Was it someone from Wide Confectionery? It sounded like you were in some kind of trouble.
I'm fine. They just pointed something out about quality.
I see. I'm not dragging you down, am I?
No, you're not. We'll keep working together. After that, they started complaining about something with every shipment. Usually Yoko Mizo wasn't there when I went to make the deliveries, so I had to get another staff member to sign for them. And they would always call and complain about the size of the strawberries, the sugar content, the shape, etc. Because of that, they would often reduce the purchase prices. I was concerned, so I went to my father. Dad, it's about our business partner.
What's the matter? You don't get along with the new guy?
Something like that. Has the buyout price gone for less than what you signed for?
That's never happened before. What? Is the quality going down?
No, it can't be.
My grandfather and I decided to stay out of the business when we retire. I've been doing this for decades, and you're still a baby to me. You can't say it's perfect yourself, can you?
That's true, but...
I'm just grateful that they're buying from us. They've been good to us for years. Why don't you give it a little more time?
All right, I'll do that. I wasn't convinced, but my father had a point. Maybe Yoshioka-san was just assessing me loosely. Or maybe I'm just immature. It's not good to doubt too much. I managed to convince myself to keep working, but the situation never got better. The contract wasn't cut, but the reduction didn't stop. 6 months passed like this. Lately, the pressure from Yoko Mizo has been very strong, and I was feeling quite discouraged. Delivering 5 more cases tomorrow is too sudden!
I said it's urgent! You deliver most of your products to us, don't you?
That's true, but...
Then there's no problem. I'm hanging up.
Please wait! We're running a family business alone, and we have direct store sales to deal with! It wasn't like this before, at the very least!
What are you talking about? I'm in charge now, remember? Or do you want me to cut the contract?
Please!
Then there's only one answer. I'm counting on you.
What? A change in the number of deliveries?
Yeah. I can't believe we have to make such a sudden change on top of all the reductions.
Hiroki, if we go any further, we'll be in the red.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know what to do.
What's going on?
Oh, Dad, actually, I explained that things had gotten worse since we last talked. Then my father silently went over to the picked strawberries, looked them over, and put one in his mouth.
These strawberries would run for good money. I'm sure of it.
Dad.
So you're sure our strawberries aren't of inferior quality?
I can assure that.
That Yoko Mizo! He better watch his step! We'd been going out of our way to listen to their needs because of our relationship up until that point. But this time my father's words convinced me. I couldn't remain silent.
What are you going to do?
I have an idea. A few days later, I'd like you to come to our farm to discuss this delivery.
You want me to go all the way to... Unlike farmers who have nothing to do, I'm a busy man.
Unlike Yoshioka-san, Yoko Mizo had never visited our farm since our first meeting. I was worried that I wouldn't be able to get him to come, but I managed to talk him into coming. And as soon as he arrived, I took him to the farm and showed him the strawberries I was going to deliver. This is for the delivery this time. As you specified, they're large and have high sugar content. I won't be satisfied unless the purchase price is what we signed for. Yes, these are the same strawberries as usual. We always ship this quality. If you have something to complain about, say it here. I pressed him as I walked up right to him. Because I'd never come on strong before, Yoko Mizo was a bit surprised.
I mean, look at this one! There's a scratch!
Yoko Mizo picked up a single strawberry. There was a scratch on it that was obviously not there a moment ago. Perhaps he scratched it on purpose with his fingernail. The juice is coming out. It's a new scratch. It wasn't there when I checked it just a few minutes ago.
Shut up! Don't talk back to an elite like me! You haven't been in charge of this place for long, and I'm in a better position and have more experience. So when I say there's damage, there's damage. You want to charge me full price for this kind of work? I'm not paying you, ripoff!
I turned around when I heard enough rhetoric. Did you hear that? Lawyer?
You're going to win. What? A lawyer?
Yoko Mizo seemed confused by the sudden turn of events. Why is there a lawyer here? It goes back to the day after I decided to fight back.
You're suing your business partner? What are you going to do now?
I think Wide Confectionery might cut me out of their contract, but we've been increasing our direct wholesale partners just in case something like this happens. We have sales at the direct sales outlets, so our income isn't zero. If all else fails, we could join the union too. This is the only idea I have, but it will definitely be better than continuing to do things the way they are. Trust me!
Okay.
That's what's been happening. I think it's a clear breach of contract.
I see.
I can sue if it's a breach of contract, can't I?
Not that Tashiro-san is lying, but there's not enough evidence to substantiate the quality of goods such as strawberries. If you have detailed documentation of the quality of all the products you delivered, you may be able to sue, but even so, it is still weak. Do you have any recordings of his daily pressure dialogues?
No, I guess I'll just have to give up.
We can gather the missing evidence now. If we can prove the maliciousness of the case, we will have a better chance of winning.
By that,
First of all, please record all future exchanges. For example, call the other party to Tashiro-san's farm.
so I'm recording this entire conversation. I also have the evidence of you damaging the strawberry on that hidden camera. I didn't think you'd do it so blatantly, though.
What are you going to do? Just from the current exchange alone, there will be a charge of defamation by intimidation, a charge of destruction of property by intentionally damaging the goods before delivery, and damages for failure to fulfill contract obligations. Well, it was a good harvest. Well done.
That's why we will send a formal content-certified letter at a later date. Of course, I won't deliver this time. I can't leave it in the hands of an untrustworthy person like you.
Wait a minute! Please, keep this matter confidential! Please!
That's all I have to say. So please leave.
I'm not backing down until you promise to keep this confidential!
If you don't leave, I'll call the police for unlawful trespassing.
The police? Alright, I'll leave. I'm leaving.
Yoko Mizo turned around and fled. A day later, just as we were finally preparing for the lawsuit, the president of Y Confectionery contacted me personally and agreed to come to our farm. The president and the executives, I guess they're trying to take action before the content-certified letter is sent. That's not going to happen! As I steeled myself, the big guys bowed their heads in unison. Our Yoko Mizo has been unacceptable to you on this occasion. We're very sorry. After they bowed to me for a long time, the sales manager told us what had happened. After I turned Yoko Mizo away the other day, he was asked about the fact that we had not delivered the goods, and he readily confessed. Of course, when the matter was brought to light, they investigated Yoko Mizo's previous contracts, and to my surprise, Yoko Mizo's embezzlement was discovered. Not only our company, but also other farms had made small transfers to Yoko Mizo, and he had transferred the money to his own account. Yoko Mizo was fired immediately, and Y Confectionery was taking formal legal action. We have doubled the amount for this and previous unpaid fees, as well as for inconvenience. Please take it. With that, He handed me a thick envelope filled with cash and folded confectionaries. I've been impressed with the strawberries here so far. They provide us with a steady supply of high-quality fruit. Our company wouldn't be able to do it without your fruit. I'm very sorry to impose this on you, but would you be willing to accept our orders in the future? As you can see, I understand. You've been good to us for a long time, and Yoshioka-san told me to keep in touch. I don't forgive Yokomizo for what he did, and there won't be a next time. Thank you! Then he gave me a new charge, and we decided to continue our relationship. He also suggested that the amount of money we have been paying is not enough, and asked us to raise the contract amount of the purchase agreement as well. Regarding the lawsuit, I didn't end up pursuing it. There were 3 reasons. First, because the president paid me for the damages I had incurred so far. Second, Yokomizo was sentenced to prison for embezzlement due to the large amount of money, so he had enough social sanctions. And third, taking legal action would take more time than ever. In fact, we were flooded with orders thanks to the publicity our strawberries received when Wide Confectionery was featured on TV at a later date. We didn't have time to waste on anything else. We now have more farms, and our direct sales and online sales are booming. While we're keeping busy, my workload has decreased, in part because we've hired new employees. This is what they mean when they say, cry of joy. I'm glad I took action that day. Yeah, today's is good too. I chewed on one of our prized strawberries, taking in the happiness.